I'm happy to be here talking to you all because this is a worthwhile opportunity for me to explore, which is why I'm sitting in the seat. So I am all in. I am here. Let's go. Many of you might find yourself in an interviewing situation where you're interviewing in front of a panel. More often than not, if you are interviewing in front of a panel, whoever has been organizing the whole interview process will tell you that you're going to be in front of 3 or 4 or 5 people. Do not worry and do not be scared. Being in front of 3 or 4 or 5 people is almost the same as being in front of one. It's really about making sure that when you're speaking primarily to the person that asked you the question, but that you also share your answers by making eye contact with everybody else that's in the room. Now, as you prepare for a panel interview, here are a few things you might want to do. Number one, ask the question of the person that has been organizing the interview process. Who's going to be in the room with me? You also want to ask not just the names, but who are the people? What are their titles? Where do they work within the organization? How long they've been at the organization? If you can get that information, that's going to be helpful to you as you start to think through each of these people and what perspectives they might be coming from. Let's say that you're going for a senior executive position that will cause you to work with people, other leaders around the organization. And maybe one of your interviewers will be the head of the supply chain. Maybe it will be the CFO. It could be the head of the international business. These are the kinds of things that you're going to want to know, because now you're thinking to yourself, okay, the head of the international business has been there for 4 years. Where did he or she come from before they made it into this organization? What was their track? What might they care about? Well, they might care about my international exposure. They may care whether or not I've actually run an operating business before. Maybe I'm talking to the CFO. They might care about whether or not I've ever had any exposure to the street, the institutional investors, how I think about a company's finances, how I think about things in the future and capital allocation. Now I may be talking to the CHRO who wants to understand how I think about people, how I think about efficient organizations or high-performing organizations. So you think about who's around that table, which might give you an idea of where they might be coming from. Now, they may have already orchestrated the interview process where the CHRO may ask you about the supply chain. The supply chain person may ask you about people strategies. But the point is, when you're in a panel interview, you want to exude the confidence and the enthusiasm that you're even in the seat. I'm happy to be here talking to you all because this is a worthwhile opportunity for me to explore, which is why I'm sitting in the seat. So I am all in. I am here. Let's go. That's the energy you want to make sure that you exude. And then when you get the question, you look at the person that is asking the question. You start to address your answer to them, but then you make sure that you quickly look at everybody in the room, because you're acknowledging the fact that I'm speaking to all of you, and I'm speaking to all of you comfortably and confidently. A panel interview is nothing to be afraid of. One last thing I will tell you, sometimes in a panel interview, they have assigned roles to different people around the table. They may be playing a little good cop, bad cop with you. Well, one person is very thoughtful and very accommodating in the way that they ask the questions. Somebody else might be very gruff and abrupt, and they may even interrupt someone else. They may appear to be argumentative. That's to see whether or not they're going to get you off of your game and whether or not you will get flustered or whether or not you will start answering in kind to that kind of personality. You stay comfortable and confident in your delivery the whole time that you are in the room. Remember, in any interview, you have the upper hand. Why? That panel has a job to do that day, and that is to find the best candidate. All you have to do is make them feel like they are making a mistake if they don't choose you. You have the upper hand because you know yourself better than they do. Go get them.